And the dual leadership within the AIADMK has finally come to an end. After the conclusion of the General Council meeting, with EPS being appointed the General Secretary and OPS being expelled from the party, massive clashes were witnessed while the proceedings were underway. With the political tussle intensifying, VK Shashikala has also waded into the controversy, alleging that EPS was not in a position to remove OPS as his appointment as General Secretary was itself questionable. EPS, while addressing the General Council meeting, alleged that there was a difficulty in decision-making and that the dual leadership is the cause for that. Therefore, the General Council decided to scrap it. OPS was also accused of anti-party activities and aligning with the enemy to weaken AIADMK. Some of the loyalists of OPS were also sacked from the party.
இன்றைய சூழலில் கழகம் சிறப்படைய வேண்டும், கழகம் வலிமை பெற வேண்டும், கழகத்தை காக்கக்கூடிய நிலை இன்னைக்கு நாம தள்ளப்பட்டு விட்டோம். சில எட்டப்பர்கள் கழகத்தில் இருந்து களங்கம் கற்பித்துக் கொண்டிருக்கின்ற இந்த நிலையிலே இன்றைக்கு எதிரிகளோடு உறவு வைத்துக் கொண்டிருக்கின்ற இந்த நிலையிலே அதையெல்லாம் அழிக்க வேண்டும், ஒடுக்க வேண்டும், முறியடிக்க வேண்டும் என்று சொன்னால் ஒற்றை தலைமை வேண்டும் என்று முடிவெடுத்தீர்கள்.
சட்டப்படி நீதிமன்றத்தில் சந்திப்பேன். ஒன்றரை கோடி தொண்டர்களில் உணர்வுபூர்வமான தேர்ந்தெடுக்கப்பட்டவன் நான். தொண்டர்களை சந்தித்து நீதி கேட்பேன். வாங்க.
And Chinnamma has once again taken center stage. Today, VK Shashikala took a dig at EPS and said that the party cadre would give a befitting reply for his move to alter the party rules and declare himself as the General Secretary of the party. When his appointment as interim General Secretary itself is under question, how can he remove OPS, she asked.
அவரே பொதுச் செயலாளர் ஆனதுங்கிறதே கேள்விக்குறியா இருக்கும்போது அவர் நீக்கியது எப்படி செல்லும்?
நிரந்தர பொதுச் செயலாளர் ஜெயலலிதா இல்லைன்னு சொல்லி தீர்மானம் நிறைவேற்றிருக்காங்க.
சரி, அதை எங்க கழக தொண்டர்கள் அதுக்கு தகுந்தான பதிலடியை நிச்சயம் கொடுப்பாங்க.
And supporters of both factions today violently clashed outside the party headquarters in Chennai. Stones were hurled between the two groups and several vehicles were damaged. Supporters of both the leaders bore the brunt of the posters, burnt the posters of the other side. In fact, 7 people were even seen forcing their way into the party office by breaking open the doors. Many sustained injuries in these clashes and several were detained by the police. Cops finally resorted to lathi charge to control the violent mob.
எடப்பாடியார் அவர்களை மீண்டும் முதலமைச்சராக அரியணையில் அமர வைக்கும் வரை நாம் ஓயக்கூடாது, உறங்கக்கூடாது என்று சொல்லி அனைவரும் இன்று முறை அடுத்த முறை ஆட்சிக்கு வருவதற்கு நாம் சூளுரை ஏற்று பணியாற்றுவோம் என்று நீங்கள் எல்லாம் போல இங்கே சூளுரை ஏற்றி பணியாற்ற வேண்டும் என்று.
They are also asking about Shashikala saying that party cadres will be giving a befitting reply to Mr. Palaniswamy. How do you respond to that?
She is not at all in the party. Why should actually you are carrying? And most of them, they never care. So no, not at all any issue. Simply ignore Shashikala. Okay? Thank you.
All right, let's take this across to our guest. With us is Dr. P. Pulla Rao, political analyst. C. Rajshekharan, lawyer, is also with us. Let me start with you first, Dr. Pulla Rao. And this entire aspect of Shashikala coming into this controversy, many would ask, is there a full-on realignment happening? What are we likely to see happening now that EPS has taken control over the party? This is something that Shashikala is contesting, that OPS is contesting. But is there anything that they can do apart from knocking on the doors of the courts to try and regain control over the AIADMK?
You see, the majority of the AIADMK legislature party is with EPS. He has got his own reputation. For the last 5 years, he acquired a reputation that he was a good chief minister. His image is more than that of Shashikala and OPS. That's the reality. And today he managed the majority of the members, 2,445, the majority, overwhelming majority came with him there. So all set. If you remove the idea of an office and other things, EPS has gained control of the party. Yes, Shashikala is very keen to remove EPS because she had made him chief minister and then he let her down for whatever political reasons. So Shashikala is aligned with OPS. DMK supposedly, there's a lot of substance in this, is supporting OPS because DMK sees EPS as a threat, not OPS. That is the reality. In the last election, what happened. Therefore, what we now see is Sasikala or OPS, they'll go to court, they'll go to election commission, they may go to the public, they will try to get a stay. Will that happen? I don't think so. The symbol may be frozen. The first thing the election commission does in all these things is freeze the symbol, give them what they want, some other symbol, and then start the head counts. How many people are there? It's not only the MLAs and MPs, the functionaries, and then they also see what is the general strength, what is going on. Just as the Supreme Court today did in the Shiv Sena case, they just postponed it because they came to the conclusion that there is no more merit.
Let's take this across to Mr. C. Rajshekharan. Let me take this across to Mr. C. Rajshekharan as well. Mr. Rajshekharan, is that what we're likely to see? We're going to see within the span of about 4 to 5 years, the second time that there is a fight over the AIADMK symbol. Is that what we're likely to see happening? And are the options of Sasikala and OPS now extremely limited?
Dr. Madhav, Dr. Pullarao has conveniently forgot the fact that whatever BJP said or BJP instructed or BJP directed OPS, he obeyed the orders from Delhi and he opposed Sasikala. He went for Dharma Yuddham and later on he opposed Edappadi. He came out with 18 MLAs. He fought against AIADMK government. Subsequently, all at the behest of BJP's instructions. And today, the BJP, the Delhi BJP, the central BJP and some people from Chennai have let OPS down. They have betrayed OPS. That everybody conveniently forgets. And Sasikala only made Edappadi the chief minister. It is not that he was somebody who came on his own. He was nobody. He was not in the reckoning at all. He was insignificant in AIADMK. But it was Sasikala who handpicked him. Now he is being told that he is a good chief minister, blah, blah, and all. All at the cost of whom? Who made him all this? And subsequently it was at the mercy of BJP, the 4.5 years government went on. Today, Edappadi projects himself as if he is the savior of AIADMK and he is creating lot of embarrassment for the legacy of MGR and Jayalalitha. It is the DMK, anti-DMK mindset was the only agenda for the cadres to start the AIADMK. It was the party was started to oppose DMK. But today, Edappadi has close nexus with DMK. It is not OPS. Because how powerful...
How do you say that? On what basis do you say that?
Yes, I'll tell you. See, whatever Edappadi wants or Edappadi wishes or wherever Edappadi aspires, he manages through several agencies, sources confirm he can get any order from anybody.
So now, leave alone sources, sir. That's a very sensational charge you're making. What do you have specifically to back up that claim? Please be specific and not talk in generalities because it's a big claim you're making.
Yes. What all I'm saying is in the public domain. I am not making any... See, there is one E Palaniswamy of AIADMK. He went on air, live, that accusing the courts also, that it is a caste order. Because of some, he named all the people who managed Edappadi to get an order, all this. But I don't buy that argument. Being a lawyer, I cannot insinuate something which I don't have any proof. But Edappadi is using money power and muscle power to manage so many things. Today, 2,300 people were managed, were literally purchased. So whatever OPS is doing is in the interest of the party. But Edappadi is doing
But sir, whatever may be what has happened in the past, what can they do now? Is there any option left now for either Sasikala or OPS? That's my simple question. You've not answered that. You've given us the entire history of the AIADMK but not answered that question.
No, I'll tell you. One thing, only one point I agree with Dr. Pullarao, that ultimately the Election Commission of India will freeze the symbol and the party will not function. And ultimately, it is the agenda of whoever concerned, the Western forces. BJP would be the powerful reckoning party in the Tamil Nadu against DMK. It will be DMK versus BJP, and AIADMK will be decimated slowly. Already these people are fighting, and it is going to help.
Let me bring in Mr. Pullarao on that. A number of allegations, a number of questions coming out of what Mr. Rajshekharan said. So very quickly, Dr. Pullarao, your response.
Very simply, politics is not for sentimentality. I agree with Mr. Rajshekharan. He has given the history. He has talked in a very sentimental way. He has been fair. But is that how politics runs? Today, Mr. EPS has got the majority. Today, he has got an order from the court. Tomorrow, what he'll get, we don't know. Moreover, I agree also with Mr. Rajasekhar that if they have the interest of the AIADMK, why can't OPS make up? Why should he have gone to court? That's what the EPS says. They went to court. They brought the dispute out into the open. What is Sasikala? So all these things are going on. Today, if you look at it very objectively, EPS has the upper hand. It is Mr. OPS who has to go to court, not EPS. And how will the court review it? Court has already given a hint that meetings can't be stopped. We can't interfere in politics. They've also said it, and I'm sure Mr. Rajasekharan is fully aware of it.
Okay.
Therefore, EPS has won the day. Whether he will win the war, the battle's future, we can't say. But things are going well for him, and BJP is waiting back. They want to see what goes on. They've got 2 years' time. Let them fight. Let the victor come, and then we'll see. That's a correct policy also.
You know, the point, Mr. Rajasekharan, is this, that if OPS and Shashikala really have that much of ground support, then, and the 1.5 crore people who he said voted for him, then why don't they go ahead and split the party? If that is what they feel they are capable of, if they feel that they are popular on ground, then surely they should be able to attract that many leaders as well.
No, I just want to say one sentence. That's a notional figure, 1.5 crores. They're not there.
Yeah. Let him respond, sir. Let him respond. Mr. Rajasekharan.
Madhav, you have made a very pertinent point by saying that, see, this AIADMK party survives only on the two-leaf symbol and the legacy of MGR and Jayalalitha. If somebody is going to create any kind of problem for that, definitely the cadres would rally behind the person who is going to save the AIADMK. Today, the behavior of Edappadi Palaniswamy, with the help of 2,300 General Council purchased members, is only going to help OPS in a big way in the future to come. How, you ask me? I will tell you. OPS cannot or should not be discounted or say that he is nothing in politics. In politics, nobody can be siphoned off like that. He has got his own experience for more than 30 years with traveling with Jayalalitha, and he is the man who made everything possible for Jayalalitha, and it was Sasikala who had brought in Edappadi, and Edappadi not only betrayed Sasikala, he backstabbed OPS, and he will backstab every next person whomever it may be. Today it is OPS, tomorrow it can be anybody, and BJP is playing the wrong game. Edappadi is a very dangerous man. He will definitely betray every leader, and even the BJP.
Mr. Rajasekharan, at the end of the day, I think Mr. Pullarao said at the end of the day, politics is about seizing power also at some level. Whether it is an acceptable method or not is a different question. But really, I mean, we are nobody to say or predict who will be cheated and what somebody will do in coming days. But let me bring in Mr. Pullarao on another aspect. Mr. Pullarao, the question is, what are we going to see happening from here on? OPS and Shashikala, of course, being outside of the AIADMK, is there anything they can do from outside to either destabilize EPS or his control over the party in your view?
Absolutely nothing. They cannot seize the office. I remember, I think I saw Mr. Rajasekharan say he wants section 144 in the AIADMK office. Such sections will be imposed and nobody can move. The question of the properties of AIADMK, do they belong to the AIADMK or Jayalalitha's trusts or to Sasikala? All that will come out in the open. But sentiment is very important. You're looking at Bombay. Sentiment was with Eknath Shinde. You know, not with the family of Bal Thackeray. That's why things went that way. Sentiment today, I can't predict the future. Sentiment today is with EPS, that he will do justice, that he is clever, that he is very, very shrewd. Obviously, you have to be that shrewd to survive in Tamil Nadu politics. Tamil Nadu politics is not for the weak of heart. So EPS has those qualities. And I have a belief, and I may be wrong, that Stalin is very much worried about EPS and not OPS, and is encouraging OPS and Sasikala. That is the story going around. There may be substance in that, but there is a definite suspicion that Stalin is also there. Don't forget, Stalin moved a no confidence motion very early after Jayalalitha died in a very immature way and lost to EPS. He lost to EPS. So Stalin knows the potential and capabilities of EPS. OPS is a nice person, a great person, but is he EPS? I don't think so.
All right. All right, so, let me bring in Mr. Rajshekharan on that. Mr. Rajshekharan, 5 years ago, when OPS and EPS came together to perhaps keep Shashikala at bay, many thought that this is going to be a partnership that lasts long. Last several months, last year or so, we've been seeing, of course, those cracks appear. The question is that at the end of the day, did Mr. OPS play his cards wrong? Where did he go wrong completely?
No. OPS took instructions from whoever concerned, and EPS also took instructions while they were in power. It was the BJP which was the proxy government of BJP in Tamil Nadu under the leadership of OPS and EPS, which everybody understood politics will speak. And finally today, it is the BJP which betrayed OPS, because for BJP only, OPS had rejoined Edapadi. And they betrayed him, and they have left him in lurch. Now he is going from one corner to another, to the courts, to the election commission. Now he must be feeling sorry for betraying, backstabbing, jail Sasikala, and which Edapadi is enjoying whatever OPS did. What you sow, you reap. What OPS did to Sasikala, Edapadi is doing to Sasikala and OPS. Tomorrow he can do it to anybody. It is simple politics. I agree with Pullarao that there is no sentiments and emotions. But finally, only traitors, betrayers and backstabbers survive in politics. Good people don't survive.
Nice guys, finished last. That's perhaps a statement that comes to mind from what you're saying here. Thanks so much, Mr. Pullarao and Mr. Rajshekharan, for joining us. Perhaps you haven't heard the last word yet. For the moment, at least, it appears that EPS is firmly in the driver's seat as far as the AIADMK is concerned.